way!
No way he Cali sticked you.
Bro, he calloused me and I was 10 feet away from him. No, 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 no. Hey guys, it's Justin. I'm back with another video. This is Monday Drops episode 2. First, before we get into the video, thank you guys for your continued support, your likes, your shares, your comments, your subscribing to the YouTube channel. Guys, thank you so much for your support. It means a lot. When you're in content creation, I'll continue to say it, put in a lot of time, put in a lot of effort to give things to people to consume. And just the simple thank yous, the simple likes, and just whatever you can get out of it, man, that means the world to me. Thank you guys so much. Continue to keep it up. If you guys have any topics you want to hear me talk about, comment them. Hit me up on Instagram. Hit me up on Twitter, whatever. You want to hear something I want to say, let me know. And I'll definitely put it in my notes so that I can prepare for the week and for next week. And maybe one of these days, your topic will be the one I talk about on Monday Drops. So on this episode, I'm going to talk a little bit more on episode 1. It's a follow-up. I never want to just give people something and then just expect them to just go out there and execute. No. Leaders will prepare their people and their friends to do what they have to do. They'll give them all the tools, all the details, all the sauce, as we call it, on what they got to do their jobs and carry out well. So this episode is going to be a follow-up from episode 1. I'm going to give 4 points on how exactly does one turn it on. How does one actually get that drive and let it click, like my dad said, to be great at what they do. So hopefully you enjoy this video, and I'll see you soon. Alrighty. So 4 points, guys. First, when you want to turn it on, you need to identify. And what you identify is the things that you have control over. There's a lot of things in life that we don't have control over, but there are some things that we actually do. Now, when you're playing sports, you're in your job, you're actually in your career field, or you're in school at any grade level, there are things that require your time and effort. So identify that you have control over your time and effort in those things. Nobody can turn it on for you. Nobody can show up to your job for you. Nobody can show up to your school for you, although sometimes that would be nice. And no one can actually put in the work but you. Okay? So identify that, okay, I have a set amount of time to do this. I have a set amount of time to do something else. In all those things, this is what I have control over. My time and my effort. 2, understand. Understand the expectations that administration, principals, teachers, coaches, directors, understand what they have in place. The expectations. You're expected to be here on time. You're expected to work, be all right at what you do, and go home. You're expected to listen in class, show up on time, turn in your work, go home. Right? You're expected to show up to practice a little bit, play on the game, go home, go about your business. But let's take that up a notch. Once we understand those expectations, let's go, all right, I'm going to be above that. I'm going to put in more time and effort than the next guy next to me. And I'm going to put more time in and effort than anybody else around me. You got to have the mentality like, you know what? Nobody puts in more than I do. Nobody puts in more than I do. It's really not a bragging, but it's a part of the mentality. Because again, this is a mentality. It's not just the flip of the switch and, okay, now I'm on. I'm working. No, it is a mentality, and it eventually transitions into a way of living. So now that we know what we have identified, what we have control over, and we understand what's expected of us, we need to maintaining the mentality. Okay, like I said, it's not a flip on and switch and leave an autopilot mode and it just goes. No, you got to get up and get it going. I understand human behavior has a lot of different moods. There are some days you're just not feeling it. You have a lot going on at home. I understand people have a lot of things going on in life. And there'll be days where you don't feel like doing anything that's required of you. There are days you wake up, you don't want to be a boyfriend. You don't want to be a friend. You don't even want to be a son. Maybe you don't want to be a parent. Maybe you don't want to be an athlete no more. Maybe you don't want to be a student. Whatever it is, we all have those days where it's like, nah, today is not it. But the task remains. What's there in front of you is still going to be there. What's at stake? For everybody, it's different. But there's still something at stake. So in order to maintain and really be well at what you do, you have to maintain the mentality and the focus to make sure that those things get handled appropriately and that you're going above and beyond on what you got to do. I'm going to put this little side point in there. And this is for jobs, careers, everything. This is applicable, but definitely big time relationships. But I'll say this: you cannot rely on the time and efforts of the past to maintain the quality for today and tomorrow. I repeat it again. You cannot rely on the time and efforts of the past to maintain the quality of time and effort for today and tomorrow. There's a meme going around, right? And it's hilarious. The first few days of talking be amazing. After that, I don't know what happens. And that's very funny. It's very true. You get into a new thing, this new thing, what's good? You start talking, it's going cool, it's going great, and then all of a sudden it just falls off a cliff. Or you get into a relationship, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, and out of nowhere it just falls apart. You cannot go into these things going, oh well, because her and I have been together for 5 years. This is for me and my girl. If we've been together 5 years, yeah, we're good for another 5. Friend, let me tell you, we may not even be good for another week. Okay, it can fall apart just like that. Just like that, it can fall apart. You got to continue to maintain the time and effort that you put in yesterday for today, because at one day it can fall apart. Your relationships, whatever you have going on, they will not last tomorrow if you're not putting in the effort today. It's a new day. There's a new task. Maintain, maintain, maintain. And lastly, finish. Finish what you start. See it through. I understand people go through frustrations at work and go through a lot of things in relationships. You got to leave. I understand. But let me give you this little example of all those things that I had going on, identifying, understanding, and maintaining how I finished a certain job. So I worked at McDonald's for 5 years, from when I was 17 till I was 22, and I was a manager for 4.5 of that time. And there was a lot of time that I put into the store above and beyond maybe a little unhealthy balance in terms of work and school relationship. And I was putting in the time through everything, ups and downs, shortages, coming in late, coming into school, going into school, leaving at 7:30, going into work at 10:30 at night. I'll get home at 7 in the morning. Man, I spent a lot of time at this store, putting in all this time and effort that I could and just going above and beyond to make sure that everybody's good. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be great at what I got to do. There was a Thanksgiving night, and there was a shortage on an overnight manager, and I decided to go in. I didn't want to work the next day. I drove in from Pennsylvania, spending time with family, and I went to work, and I walked right back out to go work like a maniac. I knew that day that I finished what I started. You know what I mean? I put everything into that store, and I had nothing left to give. I remember I was leaning on the cookie jar on the front counter, and it was like 2 in the morning, and there's so many damn cars outside, and it's after Thanksgiving. I never understood why people would want to have McDonald's at that time at night after Thanksgiving. But I was literally like, God, I've given this place everything that I've got. Get me out of here. Sometimes I gotta get like that. Thankfully, a couple months later, I got hired for my new company. I left knowing that I did and put everything in there. Perhaps there's something that you got going on that you're giving everything to. Perhaps that time is coming. Your time is coming for a new opportunity. Just wait it out. God's always in control, never makes mistakes. Timing is always on time. So again, control what you can control. Identify what you got. Understand what's expected of you. Maintain and finish. I hope this message was good for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you always for watching, and I'll see you next week.